The Indian automobile sector has been revving up the engine and has been racing toward financial success in this fiscal year. And the excitement about this sector is not among the car buyers and the tractor buyers, but also among investors. And we saw the same in the amount of response that we got from the AMA session that we did on the small case social media. I will be taking you through the automobile sector, what's working in favor of the sector, what are the key challenges that we might face in the sector, and what are the various categories of vehicles which form a part of the sectors, how each of these categories are doing. So first thing first, why is the auto sector doing well? Why is right now the time when autos have really taken off? So if you look at the charts for Nifty Auto, what you will see is that in the past 1 year, the Nifty Auto has been around a 19% return, where the Nifty has been 10%. If you look at a 6-month period, there is a big outperformance. Nifty Auto is up 8%, whereas the index is down 1.3%. In the year till date, again, Nifty Auto is up almost 13%, whereas the index is only up 2%. You look at the 1 month, again, Nifty Auto is taking the lead, and same for any short-term span, right? So it seems like 2023 is a very exciting time for the auto industry. But why is that? So as we all know that during the COVID period, autos took a hit, right? Nobody was buying cars, and that is the time when we see that auto stock struggled. Similarly, when we were marred by chip shortages, there were shortage of chips that autos that that vehicles use, there was a struggle in the sector. But right now, due to the lowering of commodity prices, the rising of disposable income in the urban economy in India, right? The urban sector in India, the urban consumer in India has more to spend. The urbanization is growing, and the government is supporting vehicle manufacturers, and there is a huge demand of new types of vehicles, which is especially electric vehicles, which makes auto sector extremely interesting. And what is also working in favor of the auto industry is that the infrastructure in India is improving. So a better place for autos to work at. Now, what is also extremely exciting for the auto industry is that the infrastructure in India is expanding and improving. The shared mobility category is also seeing a lot of rise, and there has been an internationalization of auto companies. So auto companies are not just selling in India, but they have a lot of buyers outside India also. And like I said, the lowering commodity prices with the huge demand that the urban population is seeing, and the rise in the rural areas as well, we think that the auto sector will be quite set for the next part of the year as well. We will see this sector to be one of the sectors that sort of performs, and the same thing you would have seen if you are watching the earning numbers of the auto sector. So now what we'll do is we'll go into all the subcategories within the auto industry, look at them one by one, and try to address what's working for them, what's the growth number in various categories. Now, the first category of autos that we'll talk about is the passenger vehicle. Passenger vehicles are the normal cars that we all use. And this segment has been firing on all cylinders. It's been breaking records and beating the benchmarks. If you look at FY23, this segment saw 27% growth compared to the last year. And the sales in this segment reached an impressive 3.9 million units. Why did this sector sort of grow? So the shift in consumer behavior, people buying more SUVs, was one of the reasons that we saw a growth in this sector. SUVs as a whole became 52% of the private vehicle volumes. So which paints a very impressive picture. It talks about a shifting landscape and the interest in the urban population to buy passenger vehicles, and especially SUVs. And we see this trend continue as the growth in disposable income continues in the future. Now, the second segment of autos that we'll talk about is the two-wheeler segment. Two-wheeler segments are your scooters, mopeds. Now, this two-wheeler segment saw a challenging period in the previous few years, but it has finally found its footing. If you look at FY23, this stocks in this segment grew by 19%, right? And that was the sales growth number that these stocks had. The sales reached 16 million units in the last year. And while, we have not reached our pre-COVID peak in this segment, we are still on an upward trajectory. And obviously, there will be speed bumps that will be there in any industry. For the two-wheeler segment, we are seeing challenges like the rising entry-level prices, and obviously, there will be speed bumps for any segment. For the two-wheeler segment, we are seeing challenges, particularly for the unorganized sector, where the financing cost and the entry-level cost have been high. But still, analysts and experts everywhere are very excited about the two-wheeler segment. Now, the third category of vehicles that we look at in the auto sector is the commercial vehicle and the three-wheelers. Commercial vehicles and three-wheelers have had mixed results in the last year. So a company like Tata Motors has seen a decline in domestic sales, whereas Mahindra and Mahindra and Bajaj Auto have witnessed a very strong year-on-year growth in the last year. The three-wheeler segment, where Bajaj Auto takes the charge, has also seen tremendous growth. So it's a very positive sign for this segment, and people are very excited about the potential of commercial vehicles as well as three-wheelers to expand and grow in the future. If we talk about the price trends in the commercial vehicle and three-wheeler segment, you'll see that, obviously the last year we saw that Tata Motors had its challenges. But if you look at the recent performance in the last, in this year, you have seen that Tata Motors and Bajaj Auto have taken the lead, whereas Mahindra and Mahindra has been lagging. In the recent, quarter, Tata Motors came up with very good numbers, very good projections. So that's why it has been the leader in the last 1 month also. So a lot of interesting opportunities out in the commercial vehicle sectors that you should explore and, take your trading decision based on your own analysis. Now coming on to our fourth segment, which is the tractor segment, right? So tractor segment has not seen that high a growth as the passenger vehicles or the commercial vehicles have seen. Tractors have had a temporary obstacle because of in festive season we did not see a lot of buying in this segment, and there's been unseasonal rains as well. Tractor segment has been hit by a lower rural demand. Rural demand in India has not picked up as much as the urban demand has picked up. That's why tractors have been lagging in their growth in the last 1 year. But people think that the crop prices are improving, the raw material prices are decreasing, and there's a positive sentiment among the rural markets. With the growth of organization that is going to trickle down to the rural market, we are going to see the rural revival come back as well. So that makes us again very excited about the tractor segment as well. This segment plays a huge role in supporting the agriculture sector and the growth of the overall economy. And as the economy is strengthening, the tractor sector segment would also weather the storm and could come up as a leader. Now let's come on to another exciting category when we talk about autos, which is the supporter of auto stock, which is the auto ancillaries, right? What are auto ancillaries? Auto ancillaries is a broad term that encompasses a wide range of products and services that are used in the manufacture of automobiles. So you have engine components, you have transmission and steering components, you have body and chassis components, you have suspension braking components, electrical components, and a lot of other components that go on in supporting the growth of or the building of an automobile. So auto ancillaries are an integral part of automobile value chain. So obviously the growth or the decline of automobile sector directly impacts the auto ancillary sector as well. And you would have seen that the auto ancillary sector has in fact been a favorite for investors in the last 1 year. If you look at the price performance of the auto ancillary stocks in the recent 1 month, you've seen big growth coming out of these stocks. And as we are talking about automobile, we cannot miss talking about the electric vehicle segment. So there's no exclusive electric vehicle manufacturer like Tesla in the Indian market. But, we have seen a lot of large auto companies in India pivoting towards electric vehicle manufacture. So Tata Motors is one of the key stock that you can watch if you're watching the EV industry. Similarly, you will see various, auto manufacturers also shifting their strategy to focus more and more on the EV segment. And I usually get very excited when I see any auto stock pivoting towards EV because that's a very exciting area of future growth. So that is something, again, very exciting happening in this segment that you have to watch out for and take decisions based on your analysis. So we have covered a lot of positives about the sub-segments of the auto sector, right? There are a lot of exciting things happening in all these sectors, but obviously there could be challenges that could dampen the growth of this segment as well, right? So something like chip shortages, right? These stocks are dependent on chips coming from outside India for their components, and these chips have been under shortage across the globe, not just in India. So that could be one thing that could impact this industry in the future if something like that happens again. Similarly, inflation is high across the world, and if inflation is high, that could impact consumer spending as well. That could have a negative impact. Similarly, any global roadblocks that might come and depress the projected growth that we have been seeing in the Indian market could also come and impact the auto sector. So there are various things that could happen that could impact the positive sentiment that we have been seeing in the auto sector for some time. But obviously, the sector has been extremely resilient, coming back from the COVID lows, and now recovering at a very high momentum. And this sector speaks about the resilience and the adaptability of the auto industry as a whole in India. And I'm sure that the industry will overcome any challenges that will come on its way in the long term. So despite a number of challenges, auto segment remains extremely promising. The demand for EVs, the recovery in the rural segment, the anticipation of better sales, in the coming festive season, marriage season, and a number of other milestones that might come will pump up the auto industry and drive, the promised growth in the next few quarters as well, as per our expectation. So auto sector is one of our favorite sectors to watch out for. The various sub-segments, the auto ancillaries, the EV segments are all extremely exciting and something for you to look forward to. So obviously there are a lot of challenges that could come up and that we have to be very well aware of. But auto segment right now could be a very interesting part of anybody's diversified portfolio. So if you're betting on the growth of the consumption segment, right? If you're betting on consumption to pick up again in India because of the lowering commodity prices, lowering crude prices, and the pausing of interest rates, giving back this recovery to the economy, I think auto segment is something that should be something for you to watch out for.